This episode is brought to you by Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for building a cool-looking and professional website. Have you ever dreamt of living on the sea in Italy? Today I'm house hunting and discovering the lifestyle in the town of Gallipoli, the jewel of the Ionian Sea. We'll explore the town and the treasures it contains. So these have a very interesting history, including some of southern Italy's most jaw-dropping examples of Baroque architecture and art. We'll also stop at some restaurants to taste and enjoy some local delicacies typical of Salento.
This is really a perfect light thing to eat on the seaside for lunch.
And naturally, I've found 3 dream homes for sale which we'll tour together and that really show off the characteristics of the residential style of such a unique location. Andiamo. I'm back in Gallipoli, one of the most popular seaside locations in the summer for Italians, and in Salento in general, because we have a beautiful medieval town here behind me, but also the beaches, the food, just the ambiance breathes summertime. And so we're gonna get some great food here, we're gonna see the town, and I found 3 beautiful dream homes for sale in the historical center. Andiamo. Gallipoli is a town of 18,000 inhabitants and is located on the Ionian Sea in Salento, the southernmost part of Puglia. And its history stretches back millennia. So we're here in front of what is called the Greek Fountain. We're on the bridge which connects the historic center with the outskirts, let's say the more modern part of town, but this is not modern. This is what originally was thought to have been the oldest fountain in Italy, called the Greek Fountain. They thought it was made by the Greeks. But one of the art historians who brought that theory forward said, no, this was most likely built in the 3rd century AD. And it figures 3 different myths from Greek mythology. Later on, other art historians said that, no, this is most likely a Renaissance fountain. It's just that it's been built out of carporo stone, which is a limestone, which degrades over time very quickly. That's why it looks even older than it really is. Crossing the bridge leading onto the island brings us past the imposing defensive castle. But once inside, you'll notice that the town's charm doesn't necessarily consist of gigantic monuments, but rather tightly packed cobblestone streets kissed by the sun and buzzing with life from visitors and locals alike. The historic center is a time capsule filled with small artisanal shops, cafes, and restaurants. Architecturally, you'll notice the staples of the historic Salento style, such as balconies and brightly colored facades. The pride that residents take in decorating their abodes really stand out. And logically, the famous sandy beaches are always just a short stroll away. So this is Spiaggia della Purità. This is the beach inside of Gallipoli. Gallipoli is known for its beaches going up and down the Ionian coast, but this is the only one in the historical center. It's a free beach, so you don't have to pay to use beds. You bring your own umbrella, you bring your own sunbed, you enjoy the beach, you enjoy the water, and when you're done, get back dressed, head back into town and have some lunch. And that's exactly what I'll do. But it's still a bit early for lunch, so I'll indulge in a typical breakfast treat at my favorite pasticceria, Martinucci. In addition to the nice vibe, they also have a large selection of my favorite treat, the pasticciotto. And today, we're tasting them all.
Allora, questo qua sono i pasticciotti, questo qua è ricotta e gocce di cioccolato. Tutto cioccolato. Frolla ai 5 cereali con crema e pezzettini di mele. Tacchio di ricotta. Crema e cioccolato, crema limone e mandorla.
Fantastico, grazie.
Poi
So we have this wide selection of pasticciotti. So pasticciotto is typical of Salento, and here at Martinucci they make it with various different fillings. And so he's brought them out, and what we're doing today is a tasting of pasticciotti. And so it is chocolate with chocolate. The thing about pasticciolti is that they're a casing for the content within it. And it almost feels like it's a big stuffed cookie, but there's more stuffing than the cookie. So I believe this is the one with ricotta and chocolate chip. It's like a mini cheesecake on the inside. Wow. This is a multi-grain pasticciotto. So if you're minding your health, you want some fiber and you want to work that into your pasticciotto eating habits. And the cream on the inside of this one, I think, is just a more typical standard cream. What's special about it is the actual encasing. I take that back. There's actually pieces of apple on the inside of this one. So this is almost like an apple pie. Demolish this first plate. Let's move on to plate number 2 here. There's something green on the inside, which hints at pistachio. So this is pistachio with, is this ricotta? I'm losing track of my fillings. So much sensory overload. This has a hazelnut on top, which makes me think that this is the gianduja pasticciotto. Ah, yeah, so standard pastry cream with gianduja on the inside, which is a hazelnut cream. Hazelnut is such a typical Italian ingredient for sweets. And we're on to the last one. This last one is definitely the fanciest in terms of the casing. Almonds at the top, powdered sugar, lemons and almonds. Okay, so this is the aftermath of that tasting. I'm gonna say that my favorite, because it was a surprise, right? Not because this would be the one that I would get on every day, is the apple pie and the multi-grain apple filling. Surprised by that one, really good. When you're in Salento, try the pasticciotto.
I know that many of you watching are thinking about making the move to Italy, and a lot of you are digital nomads, freelancers, or business owners. Having a strong online presence can make a huge difference when it comes to attracting clients. That's where today's sponsor, Squarespace, can really help. One of the things I like about Squarespace is that you don't need to be a web designer or have any technical experience to create your own website. They have an AI tool called Blueprint AI that guides you through the entire process step by step. It helps build a website around your specific type of business, including the features and tools you need to connect with your clients effectively. And the end result isn't just practical and easy to use, it also looks great. And if you want to make it more personal, you can easily customize everything yourself, from the colors and fonts to adding your own images with a simple drag and drop. And yes, Squarespace also gives you everything you need to set up and manage your very own online store. So head to squarespace.com/JustDreamItaly for a 14-day free trial, and when you're ready to launch your domain or website, use my code JustDreamItaly to get 10% off your purchase.
So Gallipoli is a town known for its exportation of olive oil all throughout the world. Before you used oil, petroleum to heat things, olive oil from down in Salento was the gold, was the energy source. And Gallipoli produced a lot of the olive oil and then shipped it out all across the Mediterranean, but even up into the North Sea. Let's go check out what they still have here. So these have a very interesting history, these basements, these cantine. They're all carved out of the carparo stone, which Gallipoli consists of. And you can see how special they are. These are called frantoi ipogei, meaning they're underground olive mills. And what makes them so special is that Gallipoli was a Porto Franco in the past, meaning that you didn't have to pay taxes to produce things and ship them out. And so currently Gallipoli has 35 underground olive mills. This was one of them. And the reason they made them is because you pay less taxes. So the same reason people create schemes to pay less taxes nowadays to do something in some place than another. They did that back in the day as well. And here in particular, they produced olive oil. And you can see this is the big stone mill where I came down from. So if I understood the process correctly, this was more of a slide, a ramp where the animals would be led down into. So the horses, the mules, they would bring them down into this circle, hook them up to this stone mill, and they would be the ones dragging this heavy wheel around to crush the olives to make the paste from which you would then squeeze out the olive oil. The olives, on the other hand, would be dropped in through this hole, put in this window to ferment for about 30 days before they would make that paste. And then when the paste was made, you have these kind of screws, these torques. And So basically you put the paste down below them, you squeeze the torques, and olive oil was squeezed out into these holes. Not olive oil for consumption, but olive oil for combustion. And last but not least, the poor animals needed a place to rest, and they would be placed here in this cozy corner once their day of work was done. So I'm very happy this time to be in Gallipoli and to show you the beautiful masterpiece that the city has, which is its cathedral. I know last time it was completely closed and so I couldn't show you anything about it, but it's essentially a baroque masterpiece built in the 1600s, built out of carparo stone and pietra leccese, you can see on the facade. So the lighter elements are pietra leccese, whereas carparo is another type of limestone, sediment stone, where the sand has basically cementified, and so you can see seashells all throughout it. Very easily sculptable, and so you can see lots of decorations, flourishes, and statues on this facade. Let's go inside.
Stepping inside the Cathedral of Sant'Agata, you can immediately see the grandeur of Gallipoli's Baroque period. The cathedral was built between 1629 and 1696 and has a traditional Latin cross layout with 3 naves. The central nave is separated from the 2 side aisles by rows of Doric columns in local carparo stone. Look up and you'll see the richly decorated wooden ceiling, while the walls are filled with paintings from important 17th century artists. And at the end, the polychrome marble high altar really completes this spectacular interior. And I still have one more stop before touring the dream homes. Lunch overlooking the sea.
The specialty here is the Puccia, which is the Salento equivalent of a pita, the Greek pita. It's a round bread, you cut it open and you fill it up. I have a Puccia with polpo, which is octopus, friarelli, and cheese. Octopus and cheese, that's the typical Puccia of the area. So here you can see the sandwich a little bit better. This is the type of bread that's used for a Puccia. It's similar to a pita, but it's baked almost as if it's like a pizza crust in the oven. So it's a bit more crunchy. It's both a very good flavor combination as well as a texture combination. The flavor is because octopus has a distinct taste, but not overly strong. You have the bitterness of the friarelli and the soft, almost sweetness of the cheese. Great sandwich. Grazie. So I also got the mixed fried typical Salentino things, fritto misto Salentino. It's my best English translation of that. So we have the fried potato croquettes. We have the meatballs, which are a typical meatball made of octopus. They're called polpette gallipolitane, but because they're from Gallipoli, and some other pieces of fried fish. Looks great. Let's try it out. This is not fried fish. This is actually a fried shrimp patty. Very good. Was not expecting that. All right, so we're in front of the Spiaggia della Purità in Gallipoli, Gallipoli's main beach, and the home that we're seeing is this one right behind me. White and yellow balcony rooftop terraces. We're talking about 240 square meters of total space, and that includes first floor, second floor, and the rooftop terraces. Ends up being 3 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, and the asking price is 950,000 euros. Come on in with me. You can have 2 independent entrances to make the second floor and the first floor separate from each other, but we're gonna go up through this door first and see the first floor. So the property is on this first floor, so you just have to turn around these flight of stairs. There are two independent entrances. We went up the one in the front of the building. There's also another one in the back, and the unit can be separated into the first floor where we are and the second floor. When you walk in, you immediately have the first bathroom. So please have a good look at that. The property all throughout has these hand-painted tiles, which I think is the characteristic of the floors that really stand out. Ceramic tiles, hand-painted, white and blue, bit of yellow, with this really beach theme. It looks like Gallipoli, a lot of whites and a lot of blues. And we enter here immediately into the kitchen. It's a beautiful kitchen built into the wall. Covers all the wall going around, so it starts here on this side. You have a nice sink here. You work your way around with the stove here and the oven, and it really covers half of the kitchen space. So you have a lot of workspace to work with in this kitchen, and it's actually structural, right? So it's been built. It's in muraturo, or in muratura in Italian, which means that there's actually stone behind it, and this is it's here to stay. They did a good job. Let me just show you some of the architectural aspects of this area. We have these beautiful stairs. This will be going up to the second floor, which I'll show you in a bit, with these really nice ridges. So this is that Carparo stone which Gallipoli is built on, and which we saw down in the olive mill below the ground. The same type of stone, and it's the same stone that we look and we see above in this beautiful star vault. The stone is revealed, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. A real beach feel to this area. The house is equipped with heating, so you can see radiators on the wall, which is nice. During the winter you get a cool sea breeze, and it's nice to be able to warm up. And it brings us into this gorgeous space, this inner space, but with lots of light coming in from this balcony, for example, leading into the bedroom, and then leading into a back living room. So set up currently as a dining room. I think it works very well. You can see the floors, the continuation of the hand-painted ceramic tiles, absolutely gorgeous. The ceilings in this room are barrel vaults, Carparo stone, really high, really beautiful. But I'm going to take you out to one of the highlights of this property. Let's say the beginning of the highlights, which is the outdoor spaces. Nice window up top letting in lots of light, but also these two double doors letting you out onto the balcony. And what do we have here but an amazing view onto the Gulf of Gallipoli. There we have the Spiaggia della Purità, so Gallipoli's beach. You're right on the beach, and you have easy access to it. You have a sea view. So obviously, if you want a sea view, you get that sea view. Comes with a bit of a premium, but I must say, when looking out on it, it makes sense. This is absolutely gorgeous. Let me take you back inside because there's more of features like that to come, let's say. I'll take you around this room, starting with this door. So this is the downstairs bedroom. Here as well we have beautiful barrel vaults, Carparo stone, just like we had in that other space. And here is the window looking out onto that same view that we had before. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the shutters open, so it's a bit dark. But you can look here around the corner and see this is the back entrance. Go and have a look. So on one face of the house, we have the view onto the sea, and on the other face of the house, we have this view looking out into the beautiful alleyways of Gallipoli. And let me open the door for you so you can have a look into the bathroom. So this is a suite. This has a bathtub, and it's a bathtub with absolutely gorgeous ceramic tiles surrounding it. Very nice space. A nice thing to have in your bedroom. Working our way back around brings us into the living room. And so, same barrel vault, same Carparo stone. This room has a fireplace, adds a nice little vibe to this corner. Plenty of space for a couple of couches. You have these little nooks with a nice shelf, some revealed stone to kind of accentuate. This is a place where you put a nice statue or something that you want to show off, I think. But a very nice, a nice sized living room. And you have these nice double doors. Letting in lots of light from the front. You don't lose the sea view when you're in this back living room. Obviously there's doors over there which you can open up to let even more light into. And so this is the downstairs. This is the first floor. We can also walk up these stairs now, and I'll show you what we have up top on the second floor. Now, there could be made an individual entrance onto this floor, and I'll show you from where. But first, just to give you a view of what we have in this corner, you can have a peek. Obviously, we have the practicals. This appears to be a very new boiler. And just peek there, and you can see already we have a terrace going out. But there are plenty of doors letting you out into that terrace. Let me first show you the apartment. So they've covered the furniture for now because they're not using it. Well done. This is a 2-room apartment. So this would be kind of the living room, dining room. You enter in this way, but let me show you. This is the corner kitchen. So this is set up as the corner kitchen at the moment. You have AC. Before I forget, good AC unit in here, nice to have. Some storage space up top. And here is the bathroom. You can have a peek in there. There is a window letting in light. And next to it, the bedroom. So nice and luminous. You can see the floors in here are still the same hand-painted floors as before, but with a different style, right? Different patterns. And that kind of gives the second floor a different personality from the first floor. I'll let you look around the corner because there's actually a nice little closet space which can be useful. That's also a sliding door next to it, so you can close it so you don't always have to see the clothes that you have in there. And at this point, I'll take you outside. So this brings us out onto the terraces in the plural. And I think this is a huge highlight of this property just because of how big they are. You have so much space. I think it's got to be around 100 square meters of terrace out here. And so you walk out that front part. You can see some of the same designs here in the middle. And what we have on this side is just absolutely extraordinary. We have the views of Gallipoli from a floor up with respect to the balcony below. Just something extraordinary. And this is, I think, what makes this property so special. You have these views. You also have a nice place to do your grilling outside. Grill some sardines, some freshly caught fish, some octopus, and of course meat if you want. And I'll take you around here because I said terraces in the plural. You have different levels of terraces here. So you can grill over there. Then on this side, you have your table. So you set up the chairs, you can eat, and it gives you views, if you can see behind me, of the other terrace tops, the house tops, the churches and the architecture on that side. Walking around here, let me show you this area. We have shower. We have laundry area. And we also have stairs going up. So a whole nother level, guys. So this is rooftop number 2. We're even higher up with even better views. If you look behind me, you can see we have the church bells from one of the churches. That's not the cathedral, I don't believe. And from here, the views, my friends, the views. this is the home that we're seeing. It's an old watchtower from the 1800s, and it's a full home from the ground floor up to the rooftop terraces. We have the sea 50 meters that way, the rest of the historic center this way. You can see it's in excellent condition. We have the details of limestone doors, limestone windows, and the details of the watchtower that you see up top. The asking price is 650,000 euros. It's around 240 square meters of space, 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, articulated over these various floors. Let's go inside and have a look. This is the entrance here. And already you'll see that we have something extremely special on our hands. This is the main entrance, but it's a picturesque one, a postcard-esque one, with evidences of stone, of Carparo stone, these benches built onto the sides. On either side, you can see the revealed stone on the walls. This is a newer Carparo stone, and then you have the barrel vaults with the historic Carparo stone, all extremely beautiful. You can see the details of the stones lining the walls, the cobblestone on the floors, and just this beautiful, monumental arch with this light being let in by this window, by this opening up top. You walk under the arch, and it brings you to this beautiful staircase. This whole area, which lets in lots of light. You look up, and you can really see, wow, this is a special apartment. But the actual living space does begin on this floor, and I'll start off here with this bedroom. So you have a ground floor bedroom, which is basically semi-independent at this point, right? So you have barrel vault, beautiful cubbies in Carparo stone here on this wall, kind of built in. Everything is stony, everything is earthy. We're in Gallipoli, and it comes with AC and a full bathroom. So go in and have a look at that bathroom. It's nice to have an independent suite on this floor. You also have a window looking out, and that's an internal courtyard, so you don't have people looking in. And of course, there's a curtain there. So this is the first ground floor apartment. You also have some useful space here as well. I'll let you go in just because it's tight. You have those holes on the walls, which are for holding wine bottles, olive oil bottles. You have a toilet on one side, and on the other side, you can open it up, and this is where you have space to do some laundry, utilitarian spaces, which aren't glamorous, but are always very, very useful. Now I want you to have a look up here, just the amount of light being let in, and just by the beautiful geometry of the arches, of the Carparo stone, the revealed stone, but the flashes of light done by the stuccoed walls, which are in white, details of the castle turret up top. Let me now show you this first floor of an astounding living space. You have various options on this first floor. Lots of the rooms have the capacity to not only be connected on the inside, but they're on the outside, so you come out onto this balcony, right? So let me come in, show you the first little area. This is another suite, so this is the second suite that we saw. Go in and have a look at this beautiful bathroom. Very nice. You have the shower there in the back, sink, toilet, kind of these cement floors. And over here we have the full bedroom. The roof, or rather the ceiling on this bedroom, is the star vaulted ceiling as opposed to the barrel vaults that we saw below. Still with the Carparo stone, and we have these white painted walls with a bit of design on them. Come and have a look out the back, because here we're looking towards some of those beautiful streets, typical streets of Gallipoli. This is a very local neighborhood, so it's not tourists who you'll be seeing out there, but neighbors. You can say, oh, ciao Luigi, ciao Mario, ciao Giuseppe. Make friends with all your neighbors here in Gallipoli. This is a house that's being lived in, and so I wanted to note that AC is in the rooms. You have a central air conditioning system, and you have that all throughout the rooms. Coming this way leads us into but this is the main living space. So this is a nice area. You have the, once again, the barrel vaults up top, Carparo stone, and it's just a nice sitting area. You have stone floors, which are actually very nice, very old, ancient stones. And we actually have some company on our tour today. First row onlooker. And then we have here the bedroom number 2. You have a bit of a closet space here in the back. But same, barrel vaults like the living room. And then once a view, again, a view looking out, which I gladly encourage you to go and see. These are scenes of life of the streets of Gallipoli. And it's just quaint, it's calm. We're actually in August, and you would think in August it must be crazy here. But on the inside part of Gallipoli, in certain neighborhoods, it is still very residential. That is the case with this home. And the crowds are at the beaches at the moment during the day. So this is the dining room. Once again, a very nice big space. We have barrel vaults here. We also have a fireplace. This is a functioning fireplace, very monumental, very nice. Some of the limestone, sandstone details. And I wanted to show you a detail above the door as well. And that is these rising zigzag elements of the Carparo stone going up. Very nice. We do have some spaces for closet space, a built-in bench area, and turning the corner brings you into the kitchen. So you can see all the rooms are connected on the inside, with the exception of that first bedroom. And once again, beautifully, I think, accentuated kitchen with the original cementine floors. So these are from the 1800s. These have been here for hundreds of years and they've stayed here. They've built the kitchen into the wall, so it's a structural kitchen, and they've included cementine tiles, recovered ones, onto the countertop. There you have a nice stone sink, and yeah, perfectly functioning kitchen. Space for a small fridge, but also this little nook here, which is the perfect dimensions for another fridge. You do have a small window, kind of looking out onto like an internal courtyard there. And you have the door bringing you back onto this first level outdoor space. So let me bring you upstairs now. You can see the stairs going up include these cementine elements as well. The cementine are cement tiles, encaustic cement tiles, where you have a design, they stamp the design, and then they bake them at very high temperatures. Typical of Salento. We've seen them over the years as we've been viewing homes. We walk up these beautiful stairs and just have, if you will, a look down onto the kind of geometrical elements of these stairs, of the stone, of the color palette of this property. Very beautiful. And on top, on this floor, we have our last bedroom. This is the smallest one, but it doesn't mean you won't have an AC, and it doesn't mean you won't have a bathroom. Look at that. You have toilet, sink, and shower. A nice little studio pad space here up top. So always nice to have an extra bedroom where you can fit it in. Oh, this also has cementine floors. We'll come back out, and we have the steps going up to the rooftop terraces. And these are always the high points here in Salento. When you have them, they're a huge plus to your property. Let me kind of walk you through them. So rooftop terrace number 1, you have this nice covering, this pergola, gazebo areas, dining here in the middle. You even have this big nice light element. You can see that this is a property that has been lived in, that has been well maintained, and that's perfectly equipped. You know, there's a logic to it. It's the logic of it being used and lived in, not necessarily the logic of, let me rent it out as a Airbnb. This is a property which you can kind of feel the love, the hominess, if that's a word, to the property. So this is that kind of second level going up onto another terrace. From here we have views of the sea, views of Gallipoli. This is a wide angle, but I'll kind of clip in some of the tighter shots just so you can see exactly where we are. In front of us we have views of the island, views of other beaches going downwards from Gallipoli. We even have 3 cabins here, and these are cabins where people can get changed in, where you can store cushions, pillows, things like that. 3 of them. It feels like you're at the beach, right? And you even have over here a shower. I'm so hot I actually wouldn't mind dunking my head under it at the moment. So you have a shower on the rooftop. You also have more space up here with a table. I don't know if you can put like a small jacuzzi up here. You can certainly equip this area to use it differently. But just look at that. Just look at these rooftop terraces just to see it's really a different city up here. When you're down within the historical center, you have these tight alleyways, but then when you're up top in cities like Gallipoli, it's just, you're in a whole nother universe. It's this whole different atmosphere. So we'll come back down. You can see, obviously, your neighbors. You can socialize with other people on their rooftops as well. And we're not done yet. No, we're not. We have 2 other surprise elements that I want to show you. And the first one, look, another lounge area on this side of the terrace, a bit raised up from the one below. And turning the corner, we have an outdoor kitchen space. So you can live the evening in Gallipoli on your rooftop. You cook, you eat outside, you socialize at your kind of lounge area, and all the while you have views looking down onto the street. So look down there, you can kind of see that's where we entered in from. We're on the watchtower. We are on the watchtower, and looking this way, you have that beautiful view onto the blue of the Ionian Sea. Another jewel. This is another amazing find, guys. All right, we're right on the walls looking over the Ionian Sea of Gallipoli in the historical center. And the home that we're going to be seeing has a view, has this same view, just a little bit up, and in a very unique position on the perimeter of the historical center of Gallipoli. So as you can see, we have these 2 beautiful churches of the Crocefisso, and then this one, which I don't remember the name, but just as beautiful. You can see very Baroque. Baroque flourishes all throughout, all in the sandstone from the area, which is the theme in Gallipoli, this type of sandstone. And we walk down this little alleyway, and it brings us right to the property. So it's something very unique. Your next door neighbors are 2 churches. I don't know why they built one church right next to the other. I suppose they're rival saints. I don't know the dynamics of it, but it does lead to a very interesting cityscape in the neighborhood. And so the property is this one here. This is the entrance, but you also have another independent entrance here. You can even look up and see some of the elements on the facade that are very historical, right? But the facade itself has been treated, it has been maintained, it has been restructured, as the whole property has been. And so that's kind of the theme of this property. It's something very old. It's almost like a little labyrinth, just like Gallipoli is. This is a microcosm of Gallipoli, this property. And so characteristic-wise, I think there are 17 different spaces in it. So it's articulated in a very unique way.
We have a ground floor, we have a first floor and a second floor, and 150 square meters of rooftop terraces. The total space of the interior is 270 square meters. I just want to show you the details. Looking up, you can see these are a couple of the windows on the first floor, and you can see like the flourishes of below the windows, above the windows. And so this is the type of property that we're going to be seeing. Asking price is $1,280,000 asking price, right? So we'll come on in. On this ground floor, I want to take you first right up to the first floor directly. But on this ground floor, you have two separate spaces that can be independent. Basically, two different studios. One on this side over there. And one on that side over there. And this is the stairwell leading up to the courtyard. Here we are, coming up these beautiful steps. This is in a pietra leccese stone that's used all throughout Gallipoli. It's typical of this area. And in these historical homes, you have sculptures carved out of this stone. It's a type of sandstone, and you can see little shells in it, little pieces of what was once sea life, and it's a type of limestone. And it's the same thing that's used in Lecce. It's the same type of sandstone that is used in Nardò, in all of these historical towns. But, and there's also modern pietra leccese. So it's not just a historical element, but it's also an element which is still used in architecture in this area. So coming in here on the first floor, we have this beautiful double door, and it brings us into the living room. So this is the centerpiece of this property on this floor. Really beautiful because we have the high ceilings. These are volte a stelle, the star vaulted ceilings, which I'm always so in love with. It's revealed stone. So you can see it's the same sandstone that we saw before with these little columns on the sides coming down. And in the middle, they've created a fireplace out of it. And so during the wintertime when it's cool, you can warm yourself up, and it takes all of the smoke out through the top. On here, on this side, you can see they've kind of covered the walls going all the way around with pietra leccese. So this is the more modern pietra leccese, but it provides a nice texture to the walls and a really nice sea element, this kind of beige color which reminds you of the sand. And then you have something which is just absolutely spectacular, and that is this view from this balcony looking out onto the Ionian Sea. We're right in the historical center of Gallipoli, and so we're about 100 meters away from the water here. Just a spectacular aspect about the property. Regarding the floors in this space, also very nice. This is coccio pesto, so similar, same beige color, also known as Roman cement, with some beautifully painted tiles. These are usually artisan made, artisan painted, to give it a little bit of character there. Very interesting is the walls here on this side. You can see the beam in pietra leccese with a little bit of an arch. Really old stone in a really old home, right? So we'll come through this way. This is an area which divides the spaces into, you know, the different rooms that you have here. This is the elevator coming from below. So you do have an elevator in the property. The ceilings are vaulted ceilings, a barrel vault to be specific, with revealed stone. So this is a property that was renovated and that really took into account the elements that were used architecturally in it during the renovation, and those are put to the forefront. You can also see just by the lighting, the way that they do it, you have the pietra leccese walls and nice light coming out of it, accentuating the vaults. Coming this way, kind of circling back around. So out this way is that living room again. This is the dining room. And what's special about this one is, of course, we still have the barrel vaulted ceilings, but some of the original frescoes from, these are probably from like the 1800s, very classical themed, with roses, with fruit, It looks like you're in a Roman villa looking at these frescoes. Really gorgeous. You also have, we're in an inner room, but we have plenty of light coming in through the living room and also from the windows coming up top. And walking through this way brings you into the kitchen. So the kitchen keeps the same themes that we saw in the living room with the painted tiles, beautiful colors, blue, white, very sea-like. You look out the window and that's what you see, blue and white, the sky, the sea. It's a perfectly equipped kitchen with a very big oven, a 5-burner stove here, a double sink, and plenty of space. On this side is where you have the refrigerator, more workspace, built-in microwave and grill, and plenty of storage cabinets here. We'll walk back around. You'll see that this building is a bit like a labyrinth, but you'll see that that's the case almost always with historical buildings in these old tight towns, and Gallipoli is a very small town. So if you can come in, oops, this is the bathroom. I do want to show it to you. It's a complete bathroom, so you have towel heaters, not a bidet, but a little hose here, sink, and then you actually have the shower on this side. So if you can peek around there, you have the shower with the walls and Pietra Leccese in the shower too. So this is one of the showers on this floor. You actually have stairs going up, but I'm not going to show you up there. That brings you to an extra laundry room. You also have a closet space here just for storing things, but you can close that as well. And we come back out into the center room that had the elevator, but this time we'll go to the right. This brings us into the master suite. So this is the antechamber to the suite. So the entryway to the suite, it's a 2-room suite. And so this is where you can hang out. Some nice shelves there. You can already see up top you have this glass revealing that there's something on the other side, and light is being let in from that door. And I'll show you what that is. But before I do, just let me show you that this is an independent entrance to this space. So you can also come in not directly to that living room, but also into this area. And this brings you into the bedroom. So decent sized bedroom. We still have the barrel vaults. We have frescoes and a window. You can peek over there and just kind of see the different colors, the windows, the frames, and that gives you a peek out into the little courtyard and just some of the bricks there. And then coming this way, we have the bathroom and closet. This is the closet over here. So it's a walk-in closet. There's plenty of space to hang things up, put your shoes, and on this side, the bathroom. So this is the bigger bathroom on this floor. Really big shower here, and very fancy, you know, nice curves to the space, lots of mirrors, bouncing light back and forth. Those glass that we saw on that other side is letting in light there from the entrance into this bathroom. So this is this floor. Let me go back around here, because we also have a second floor, and on the second floor it's more the night zone. So I'll take you up that way. All right, so you can walk up the stairs to get to this next floor, but there's also the elevator on the other side, which I didn't take. I like the stairs. It's nice and sunny out, and it just gives you a view onto the beautiful courtyard. So you have an open window here. You can keep on going up to get to the rooftop terrace, but obviously first I'm going to show you this floor. And first things first, so you enter into this kind of entryway, and it's more of a lounge area. You have space for a couch, you have space for a television. I really like what they did with the Pietra Leccese and these lights with these little slits, letting lights come in, and really just hitting the ceiling that we've seen before, the same vaults that are all throughout, a window up top which can be opened electronically. But on this side, you have the first bedroom. And it is a suite. Very nicely made, I think, with the beautiful touch of the hand-painted tiles. You have that window looking up out on the stairs that I just came up. And this nice structure that they made, separating the bathroom from the bedroom, all in wood with these ridges, provides a nice texture. And you come in, and you have the bathroom. So sink, beautiful faucet built right into the mirror, toilet, bidet, and a nice big shower. I'm not going to take a shower now, maybe later. And we'll come back this way. So this is more of like the areas where you have, you know, rooms to sleep in the suites. This is the elevator, so if you were to take the elevator up, you can use this door here. This is more of another lounge area. These are the stairs leading up to the terrace, but I'm not going to go up that way yet, because we have one more bedroom. Couldn't figure out how to turn the lights on in this one, so I apologize for that. Same structure as the previous bedroom on this floor, beautifully carved, separating wall from the bathroom, which is a bit darker, but the same exact bathroom that we saw in the other one, guys. Same bathroom. So I'll come back out. You can see this nice big window, this light well letting in lots of light from the outside. And I'll take you up to the terrace. You can also go to the terrace from that main entrance that I came through before, but this is the shortcut since I'm already here. Ooh, it's nice and sunny out here. So this is the first level of terrace, at least coming up from that room. It's a very sunny day. It's very pleasant out. I want to show you, they used the same stone even to build an outdoor utility sink. So this is the detail that was put into the renovation of this home. They even have a bench here, which is carved out of stone. All of the walls the same color. And just the views that you have from here are magnificent. You can see the sea. We're one level up from the views that we had below on that balcony. And we have the two churches. So church number one that we came through to get here, really beautiful. You can almost reach out and ring the bells yourself. And then church number two on this side. And then you can even look over and you have a great view down onto that inner courtyard with the Pietro Leccese that we saw coming up. And then we have a whole another level to this terrace. So these are the stairs coming directly up from below. And here we are on the top level. And here you almost feel like the king of Gallipoli, the king of the Ionian, because you have an almost unobstructed view onto the Ionian Sea via the church. And it's just a glorious property. So you don't get too many like this, where you have roof access in the center of Gallipoli and looking right onto the water. The terrace goes all the way out this way. And so in a terrace like this, you could also set up a gazebo, set up a pergola, put up some textiles to kind of block out the sun and the shade. And in the evening, having a nice big dinner out here would be, I think, one of those simple pleasures in life.